They need to make it swift, they need to make it quick, because otherwise this market will go in underground and nobody can stop it. So culturally, that is what we need to do with crypto also. We need to start from the basics. Everything comes back to the place where we need to be vigilant ourselves.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Crypto Simplified. We have a very special guest today, Naimish Sanghvi, the founder and lead editor at CoinCrunch India, the only no bullshit news outlet that we have in this country for crypto related news. Naimish, please talk to the peeps. Let them know all about you.
First of all, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it, and not a lot of people talk to me because of this no bullshit attitude. Right, so I really appreciate being here, and I run a website called coincrunch.in. We go by the name CoinCrunch India, and it's a cryptocurrency news platform where most of our coverage is from India, because we needed something localized to beat what the mainstream media is doing with cryptocurrency news these days. Okay, it has improved though, I'll admit. Okay, so when we started in February, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like mainstream media was bad with the news and all, and so we started, and now it's improved. It has gradually gotten better, but it still requires improvement. So there are more needs of crypto platforms, crypto news platforms like CoinCrunch.in and like Marvin making content on the video. So we need more people who are honest and no bullshit.
So where do you think the mainstream media has actually been improving over the last
So
few
I think
months?
they, from what my sources are, what we are reading on the channels is, these people have hired like one editor or like a reporter which is dedicated to crypto news. For example, QZ has one, there is Economic Times has one, Business Standard has one, and these guys are now, these reporters are now interacting with other people, getting to know more about the space, and now reporting, fairly, I would say. Okay, but again, see, the thing is that for mainstream media, it's the clicks. So the headlines would be a little misleading, sometimes a lot misleading, right? Not everything that is happening around the space will be on the news because it might not be newsworthy, right? So, but still, there is an improvement. It's gradually improved. Yeah.
Very, very nice. So, obviously, the biggest topic that we have discussing right now is this legal battle in the Supreme Court. Indian crypto enthusiasts have been holding their breath for months. So, the big question is there an end in sight?
Okay, before that, today, just right now, while I was coming there, the Aadhaar verdict just came out.
Okay.
And it has been like, it's a balanced verdict. So I think that, that just restores my faith in Supreme Court.
Okay.
Right? It was earlier with the 377 and now with the Aadhaar. They've said that it's unconstitutional and all that. But yeah, let's not dwell into that. The point about crypto is like, okay, I think 12th of September was the first final disposal date. That means that was the day when they were going to start hearing. Today is September 26th. Right? And I don't think today also that will go into hearing, and I think it'll take a long time before we go into hearing. Right? But when we do, I believe that everybody will get a chance to put out their arguments, whether it's the RBI, whether it's the people who want to ban cryptocurrency. I don't know if you know, Marvin, or I don't know if you guys know, but there are actually 4 different kinds of cases right now all together into Supreme Court, right? One is like somebody wants to, Siddharth Dalmia wants to ban cryptocurrencies. Then Dvaipan Bhaumik wants government to take action and regulate it, or have a clear stance on cryptocurrencies. Then we have exchanges and people against the RBI's, banking ban, and then we have RBI fighting all of these people, right? So there are 4 arguments happening, and at the same time we will hear arguments on why we should ban cryptocurrency, why we should allow cryptocurrency, why we should not ban cryptocurrency, but allow banking with it. So it is going to be a really interesting journey and impressive journey, but it's going to be a long journey. Let me be very clear, okay? It's not going to happen that tomorrow the case goes into hearing and we hear the verdict. No, I think it's going to go into 2019 as well. I believe so.
Okay. So what, in your opinion, would be firstly, let's start off positive, the best case scenario.
Yeah, okay.
And then, if things don't go our way, the absolute worst case scenario.
So I think, look, being a crypto enthusiast myself and being a technology enthusiast as well, I believe that the best case scenario is always if government stops meddling in technological developments.
Okay.
Okay. You know why information technology is such a successful sector in India is because at the time there was no ministry controlling or regulating it. Okay, we have a problem in India, and let's face it, the policy makers don't work with each other. They are not the best people, working in unison. So we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that, at the end of the best case scenario out of Supreme Court would be that, okay, RBI cannot do this. RBI cannot ask the banks to stop working with people who want to trade cryptocurrency, because it's our freedom. We can do whatever it is that we want. Article 14 says that, right? So that's the best case scenario. Like, court says that RBI cannot do it. But secondly, the court says that the regulation part has to come from the government. Court cannot do it.
Okay.
And we have a committee sitting and thinking about it, right? The GUG committee and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So the best case scenario combined will be Supreme Court saying RBI can't meddle with this, and GUG committee coming and saying that this is how we want to regulate cryptocurrency. I really don't worry about making it a legal tender, because it's okay. It's okay. India is economically stronger than a lot of other countries. So for now, it's okay to make it a asset. Okay. And let us trade with it, right? But in future, I would hope that Bitcoin becomes a worldwide currency. So that would be the best
decentralized global currency.
Yes, the bestest scenario, right?
Okay,
Decentralized global currency, not just Bitcoin. Something else also can take over. It's but a cryptocurrency, a blockchain, public blockchain doing it. That would take the power from governments and all the authorities. So I think that's the best case scenario. But for India, I think Supreme Court just should say that RBI can't do it. That's all.
Cool. So what do you think about the RBI's statement that they say that they have gone to other parts of the world to look at how crypto legalization is actually taking a foothold? Do you think that there's how far do you think that we're actually going to apply the sort of rules that we've seen in Japan, in Switzerland, in the UK, where they've claimed to have sent officials? How far
I think that was SEBI.
Okay.
That wasn't RBI. RBI has never claimed to send anybody anywhere. It is SEBI that sent people to UK, Japan, and Switzerland. Okay. And I think that that's a very good move, because they want to learn how ICOs are happening and how cryptocurrency regulations are happening around these countries. See, everywhere we go, regulations are light.
Okay.
Right. Where it is regulated, it's light. It's not like you have a strict adherence to everything. Even US can't figure out how to tax the cryptocurrencies, right? So I think with a population of 1.3 billion people, it is a difficult task for the government to come up with regulations, right? But they need to make it swift. They need to make it quick, because otherwise this market will go in underground, and nobody can stop it. I mean, why I'm trading cryptocurrency, you are trading cryptocurrency. A lot of people who are watching this video are trading cryptocurrency. It's just that, government is just making it difficult for themselves in future to track this down. So RBI, these researches help you understand, but at the end of the day, you are going to apply a country that has like 100 million people in population. The logics you cannot apply to the country with 1.3 billion people in population. So there is a gap.
Cool. Great. So moving on from that, there has to be a bit of give and take from both sides. So how do we go about finding the best compromise that doesn't dilute what the crypto enthusiasts want, but also appeases where the government stands on being able to oversee these things? Is there a middle ground that we can possibly achieve?
Yeah, I think yes, we can. And to an extent, the exchanges were ready to do it. Like, the exchanges were coming together. The blockchain, I think it's called Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Committee or Association, something like that, who Ajit Khurana, the CEO of ZPay, is heading. It's part of IAMAI. So what they wanted to do is bring in all the exchanges together, create a database and database of traders based on the PAN accounts, PAN numbers, or say the Aadhaar numbers, so that they can tell the government that this is what they have earned and this is how you need to tax them. I think that's one compromise, and I think it's a very smart compromise because the people who want to use cryptocurrency for illegitimate purposes are not going to trade on exchanges. The people who want to really earn money out of it, and I believe that anybody who wants to earn like multifolds in profit, then they should pay their taxes, and I think this is a good move. So the citizens should be okay with it, that that data about trading can be shared with the government, and that's one compromise that we can make. The second compromise that I think people individually should make is that stop thinking of start learning before trading. Don't, because Marvin comes to me and tells me that he has earned 100 times what he invested, doesn't mean I should do it immediately. It means that I need to talk to him. I need to understand what did you do, what is it that you invested in, why is it important, and how did the price action happen. So that is another compromise. It's a difficult one because people don't want to educate themselves. That's a problem. They do want to, but they want easy access, and education is never easy. So I think that's another compromise, that we need to learn ourselves, and then before this, that way we can kill the scams. In the industry, if everybody is knowledgeable, everybody knows what is a scam and what is not a scam, then we won't have scams.
Cool. So going on the scams, like India seems to be featuring quite prominently in news for these long-running scams. So does this suggest that we need to do something culturally in order to prepare ourselves for this sort of stuff?
I see, culturally the thing is that we need to tell people that there are Ponzi's that exist, and we also need to infuse into people that when you are making money, somebody else is losing. It's always, when it comes to Ponzi's, the last one in the lot, the last investors are going to be the ones who lose. The first ones are going to earn money. The second ones are, it's a pyramid scheme. The ones that are, and by the time people lose interest, the last ones who invested in it hoping for good returns are going to be the ones who are going to bear the loss. So the cultural thing that we need to infuse into people is again the same thing, that invest in something that could be useful, right? That has potential. Like we need to teach that to our kids also. Like we make ads about mutual funds, sahi hai. Then we put a disclaimer that it is subject to market risks, right? But we are doing this bit where we are telling why mutual fund is big, because 20% of your goes into equity, 20% goes into insurance, 20% goes into, because it's an amalgamation of things. So culturally, that is what we need to do with crypto also. We need to start from the basics. We can't just show people that you make 100x, so invest in it. We need to tell them why the price action happened. What is the possibility of it happening again? That's what we need to infuse. Education. And
that sort of goes back to what we were talking about with the media. Like, it's very, very misleading that the media highlights these people who get 1000x gains. But they don't give any information on the people who've lost so much money. And that's why Reddit's very useful, because even though people don't want to admit it, sometimes they're forced to admit that they were wrong. And we need more exposure on that sort of stuff.
I think I kind of didn't answer the part where we talked about so many scams are being exposed in India, and a lot of that has to do with the population, because a lot of our population is into the sector where we are into the trust business. Tu mera dost hai, you tell me this is a good opportunity, I do that, right? And what media is doing is also banking on the same thing. So if media finds out that say someone who is running a Ponzi scheme somewhere, they just go there and everybody would know about it, and nobody around would think of it as a Ponzi scheme, right? So media will highlight that, these people don't even know they are investing into a Ponzi scheme. But what they need to highlight is this is the trust that we have in the local people around us, right? So media's job, I think, is important in exposing scams. It is important, it is necessary, but also at the same time exposing why these happen, right? Why showing that this person lost money and he's still okay with it because it was a friend who recommended it,
Mm-hmm.
or he's not okay because now he doesn't trust his friend.
Mm-hmm.
The whole story requires that. And when it comes to Reddit and all, no, people come and say that I trusted a friend
Mm-hmm.
and I gave him my keys and I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come and say that, right? And on Twitter, people will come and say that. People take calls. People say that, okay, so when there was a bull run, there were so many people coming in and saying, okay, we can invest into this, invest into that. It'll grow. It grew a little, and then they were like, don't close your positions. It will still grow, and then it dumped, right? They are not coming out and saying we did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They are still hodl gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's smart to take your profits. This is again, everything comes back to the place where we need to be vigilant ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to learn it from individuals, because
Okay.
media is never going to teach you that.
Mm-hmm.
So Reddit, as you said, it becomes important. Reddit becomes important. Twitter becomes important because people are being called out by other normal people like us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they are held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. I think I'm looking at you a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is this, if you are watching this, if you are planning to invest in crypto, or if you invested in it, you need to educate yourself. You need to take the onus on yourself to find who's right and who's wrong, right? You need to see where people are asking questions, and that's important.
Don't trust, verify,
Don't
and
trust
do your own research. I say this in every video, folks, and here you have an expert in the field just
Exactly.
reiterating that. Nothing is more important than knowing the fundamentals and knowing what you're getting into.
Absolutely. I think that's the most important thing, and I use so many words to express the same thing. You're good at this.
So, folks, that covers up this section a little bit, and now we're going to go on to the bigger picture. We want to talk about how India is ready for the decentralized revolution, and we got to first rewind a little bit. Let's have a look at a really key, pivotal moment in Indian financial history, and this
Okay.
is demonetization.
Okay.
So, for those of you who do not know about demonetization, a whole bunch of our cash, like over 85% of all the cash in circulation, was made null and void by one executive order. This threw the country into turmoil. Lots of cash-based businesses suffered over here, but the reasoning behind this was to combat terrorism, to combat money laundering, to bring all the black money, the illegal tax-evaded money, back into the system. So my question for you, Naimish, has this helped or harmed our journey into cryptocurrency as a country?
Okay, so I'll be honest. Okay, I was not into cryptocurrency when demonetization happened. I
Okay.
got into cryptocurrency a year ago in September last year. So it was way after demonetization happened. But what I read or what I understood is, there were a few exchanges and they broke down,
Mm-hmm.
right, because of the traffic they were getting around the same time. I think that demonetization did not do much about spreading awareness about cryptocurrency,
Mm-hmm.
right? What happened truly was that people who had black money in cash, maybe, and a lot of people don't have too much money in cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's black money you invest into something.
Mhm.
You don't really put bags of cash in your houses, right?
Mhm.
If it's black money, you invest. So a lot of it was there, but majority were invested somewhere else. So first of all, I don't really buy into the idea that it would help black money curb the menace of black money. But
Mhm.
it's okay. So when it came to people buying Bitcoin and all OTC over the counter, I think the price action was good. The
Mhm.
prices went up in India, but it didn't do anything. So it was like I going to a person and saying, I have 60 lakhs in cash. What do I do? And they were like, buy gold or buy Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. And they did that. They didn't know what it was. They didn't ask questions. They just have those Bitcoins. They are still planning to sell it for cash.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing, I don't think the adoption happened
Mm-hmm.
during demonetization. It's just that people just were able to stash, and I don't believe the media reports of say 5,000 crore rupees went into Bitcoin. That was not even the entire market cap of Bitcoin at the time, right? So don't believe 5,000 crore, maybe, but some media reports said like 125,000 crore or 35,000 crore, not so much. Maybe people went into BitConnect, not Bitcoin, and that, but it wasn't this big. Okay, things are always inflated. It's never like this, and a lot of other things happened. Not just cryptocurrency scams happened around demonetization, but a lot of other things happened. So people who are in the know of cryptocurrency were already using it for the negative purposes, right? Extortion, moving money around freely, black money, and all that. So demonetization didn't do much. Whatever was happening was happening. People who knew about cryptocurrency were trading in it, and not a lot of other people entered the sector. Only the crooks.
Okay. So demonetization sort of set the stage for us to be more digital in our country when it comes to finances. So the negative of this, of course, is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, people want to unbank the banked as well as banking the unbanked using decentralized means. So it's sort of brought us full circle. Like we were a country where people didn't trust the banks at all. This sort of forced people to get into the banks. And now, with cryptocurrency, we have an opportunity to unbank these people who just most recently been banked. So it's a really weird situation that we're in. So are we actually ready to decentralize aspects of our lives right now, and considering where we are?
Okay, so an interesting judgment or an argument came out of today's verdict was, I think it was Justice Sikri said that, he said that technology moved us from thumbprints to signatures. Sorry, education moved us from thumbprints to signature. Technology moved us from signature to thumbprints. Right? And this is exactly what we are talking about in terms of cryptocurrency. Education or the awareness or demonetization moved us from being unbanked to banked. And now, cryptocurrency or blockchain is moving from asking you to move from banked to unbanked. And I think the important thing is, see, Indians got banked, but what we miss or what we kind of ignore is that everybody had cell phones, even if they didn't have bank accounts, right? So if I can transfer money from one point to another anywhere in the world on my cell phone without having a bank account, what's wrong with that? Right? What's wrong with that? So when it comes to decentralization, right, what we are essentially saying is we are taking the power back from the government. Governments are not going to like it. Let's face it. Like, the banks are not going to like it because we are taking their profit from, right? We can evade taxes. We can save taxes. We can do a lot of things, and that is going to hurt the revenue of government. We don't have to pay so many charges that we pay to the banks. That's going to hurt the revenue of banks. So banks and governments are going to oppose it. But I think that, again, before we talk about bringing everybody on, say, decentralized future or Bitcoin or, making them unbanked, as you say it, I think we need to really understand that this is very naive, very nascent stage technology, right? Things break. We recently heard about the Bitcoin bug. Ethereum broke when CryptoKitties came out, right? Things are not great, right? We don't want to push a technology to people where if they go through one bad incident, they lose faith in everything. So I think we need those technology enthusiasts to first get in, understand what is happening, and then be the flag bearers of the technology. And then take it to the unbanked or to the people in the villages, to the people who are not aware of cryptocurrencies, and tell them why it is good. Right? So I think I'm circling back everything to the same point: education. Right? Everything that I talk about goes to that. That we need the importance is that we need good people here, and we need the onus on us to educate other people. Right? But if you ask me, can we decentralize the entire country? Can we ask everyone to transact in Bitcoin? I don't think that's possible. I don't think that should be done. Okay, I think the people who understand the technology should do it first, and then simplify it for the people who don't.
And what about layer 2 solutions? Like if they are going to be doing property deeds or they're going to be doing other stuff like that? Because we're farmers up north, and big part of one of the problems that we've had is actually the land holdings and actually ensuring that because everything is on little paper books, that if your house catches fire, proof of ownership of your land has gone up with your house.
Yeah.
So I've seen that there's potential to implement this sort of stuff, but we do need to actually try and roll these things out in much larger ways. So Cardano, for example, are trying to work on land registries. Then Wabi are working on supply chain management to make sure that products are not being counterfeited or they're not being adulterated. Do you think that it is possible that in the next 5 to 10 years, so it's a longer time span, so this is double the amount of time we've had cryptocurrency around the world, do you think that there could be a seismic shift in these directions to a more transparent way of doing things?
The government wants blockchain. They don't want cryptocurrency. They don't want token economy. Okay, but they want blockchain. Andhra Pradesh, you've seen Zebi implement a small pilot in one of the cities, I think near Vijayawada, and it is there. The documents are on blockchain. Anybody can go and get their land registry details, and even if they want to sell, they just have to go to one place, and the database will. But the thing is that I don't think that blockchain is necessary everywhere. Because without the token, we cannot guarantee that the actors will be good actors on the system. Right? We have to incentivize them. That's how, if we are going to say that a public blockchain is going to hold your land records encrypted, right? Then the people who are going to run the nodes need to be incentivized to run the nodes. The people who are going to try to do some malice should be punished, right? People who want to say, let's say staking, for instance, right? People have to put the tokens at stake and they lose it if they do something wrong. So 5, 10, 15 years down the line, unless the government accepts that tokens come with public blockchains, I don't think they can do a very good job. I think the databases are doing a fairly nice job because blockchains are slower, right? And maybe cheaper to implement, but slower, right? And when it comes to government, what you said, right, that the land records are on the paper, I think government is doing its job at getting things like these fixed, right? You are allowed to go to the land registry office and say, I have a land, and then there will be disputes, and then you can actually get it in your name. You can prove that it is, and they are taking these efforts. Recently, we have a piece of land, we got a notice that a part of it is now going to be, it's not registered in your name. You say that it is this much, but we say that it is this many square feet, right? So they are doing this these initiatives, and blockchain companies want to sell that aura that sitting in one place you can handle everything, and it's immutable. That's the thing, right? Immutable. Database cannot be changed. But if all the actors in the party agree, database can be changed. They'll just go back, 1 hour or 2 hours or 10 a year, and then they'll just remove what they want to remove and push all the transactions again. Look, I would say that I don't understand the entire technology, right? But there are ways to stop this with timestamping and all. But I just want to ask one question, simple question. If everybody on a blockchain is in on it, what's stopping them from doing wrong things, right? So that's why, unless the government understands that token economy is important, blockchain would not be able to do great things. Okay, we can say it's my opinion. It's my opinion. Okay, a lot of people disagree. That's why things like Hyperledger exist. Things like Monetago exists. Tokenless blockchains, right? Things like Ethereum private networks exist. But my opinion is that these are not long-term solutions.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Cool. So then, speaking of long-term solutions then, where we are right now, obviously this isn't the reality that we want to be using crypto in.
Yeah.
What sort of progress do we need, like in terms of baby steps, will we need to reach quotation marks, big quotation marks, say adoption. First, you can define adoption, and then we can talk about getting there.
I think the best adoption would be to get rid of all the fiat currencies.
Okay. So that for you is the gold standard. That is adoption at its best.
Yeah, I mean, look, banks take money from you. They can then lend 94% of it to other people, because the fractional reserve, whatever equivalent of that we have in India is, I think it's called capital reserve, but it's 6%. Banks need to have 6% money in their accounts, or whatever value they show they have. So banks are lending away your money. Governments are asking you to pay up for bonds. They are selling you things that don't exist. So fiat currencies are bad. Inflation cannot stop. Right? We hear our parents say that they used to be able to buy so and so things for 1 rupee. We don't. We can't. Beggars give back 1 rupees now. उससे क्या होगा? So fiat, the mainstream adoption would be in non-inflatable currency such as Bitcoin, right? If it's adopted as a global currency, fine. The second thing that I understand that crypto adoption is here is when these projects, these ICOs that we see, actually start getting used by more and more people. Bitcoin, we use it as a medium of exchange. We use it as a store of value. Right? Ethereum we use for making smart contracts and all that. But who is building smart contracts? Only ICOs. If I want you to, if we are doing this video, right, and if I want to give you a contract to make 5 more videos, I am going to still do it on paper. Why are we not using smart contracts? So the adoption happens when everybody starts using the technology. When lawyers, and this is, I'm picking it up from another tokenomics podcast that I heard. The lawyers, when they start writing smart contracts, that's when the adoption is here.
Okay.
Right? So we need to move from paper to smart contracts on public blockchains. That's when adoption is here. Crypto is just one part of it. The price action is also one part of it. Right? But adoption, crypto will die if blockchains are not used. But if you think about it, the only use case of crypto right now, truly is just you are able to send money from one corner to another corner for very, very less fee. That's it. That's the only. So more adoption comes when people start using public blockchains for other purposes. Simple as that.
Okay. So, finally, we can take this a bit as an inside joke between the whole group.
Okay.
What would be like your code word headline to signal to the broader public adoption is here? You can tell us this headline right now, and then everyone on the internet can look out for the day that you release this headline to finally announce crypto adoption is here.
I think the headline would be CoinCrunch is shutting down. I really think so, because if crypto adoption is here, it means a lot of things to me. Okay, personally, it means to me that people are taking the onus to learn about it themselves. It means to me that the governments have accepted that it's a technological advancement that is going to stay here for long, and we need to work with it. It also means that people are, able to send money to their loved ones anywhere in the world, and people are also honest about what they are making out of the trading or whatever it is that they are doing. So that is the adoption. Okay, adoption is not a company picking up Ripple and then we see the price action going up. Right? That's still not the true adoption. So when true adoption happens, when all of these things happen, we will not need CoinCrunch. We will not need CoinCrunch to, demystify what mainstream media is spreading, or we will not need CoinCrunch to report about what Supreme Court is going to say about cryptocurrency. So I think that would be it. Like when our business shut down, that's when adoption has truly happened, because we are on a simple hosting database. Then we have to shut it down and we have to move to blockchain.
Fantastic. People, please go look in the description. We do have all the links over here. So CoinCrunch is there, Naimish's Twitter is there. You give him a follow, send him a message. You got any questions about how cryptocurrency is going to go forward in India, He is a very, very bright person to talk to about. So Naimish, thank you so much for taking time out to visit me, to have a chat over here, interview in person. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking time out.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate being here and being able to talk to you. You're such a nice person, man. I really find it very easy to talk to you. And just you guys, something you don't know, he has a beautiful home here, right? And we sat down and we spoke for a bit about how beautiful it is and what we do and all that. So I think, Marvin, what you are doing is great, and we need more people like you, and keep doing it.
Nice.
Right? Keep talking to people who actually can put out something balanced. You also, I've seen your videos. You do this very balanced approach, right?
Nice.
And it's important to educate.
That I completely believe that. Yes. I'm so glad that you mentioned education so much in your chat, because education is 100% vital, and it's something that I just want to try to contribute a little bit towards.
Yes, and I think I have your card, right? And it says crypto educator, and I think it's apt for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So brilliant. Keep doing the great work, man. Thanks for having me here. And
you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
I'd love to have you on the channel. If there's anything specific you want to talk about on the channel, any news updates, I'd love your feedback on this. So please let us know. I'm sure my viewers would love this too.
Let's change the tables around, and soon we will do a video on CoinCrunch with Marvin, and I'll be asking the questions next time, right?
Great.
Let's do that.
I look forward to that. Awesome. Thanks a lot for coming, Naimish.
Thanks
See you around.
for having me. See you. See you guys. Bye.
See you guys. Please subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Send a like on this video. You want your friends to hear Naimish's opinions. This stuff is solid gold, folks. Please share this video. Spam all your friends. You want them to hate you for sending out this video to so many people. Alright, catch you folks on the flip side. See you later.
See you. Bye. Bye guys. 35 minutes and I lose it.